Welcome to another great week here at the Valley. Thank you for joining us here in the Cardinal Broadcasting Network studio. I'm Jennifer Hannigan, Public Information Officer here at Trinity Valley Community College. You're watching Valley News, a weekly broadcast that brings you news and information about what's going on here at TVCC. It's almost February already, if you can believe it, and I hope everyone is enjoying the beginning of the semester. I mentioned this last week, but I wanted to remind you again, if you're expecting to graduate in May, the deadline to file for graduation is February 8th. That's coming up pretty quickly, so be sure to do that. If you're looking for something to do this week, don't forget the Student Activities Office will be having poker night on January 31st at 7 p.m. on the bottom floor of the sub. Also in student activities news, if you'd like to play intramural basketball this year, the deadline to sign up for that activity is February 1st. For more on playing intramural basketball and on other intramural sports, be sure to visit Courtney in the Student Activities Office, which is located on the bottom floor of the sub. Today, we have a guest with us here in the studio. Chief Heath Carriker is joining us. Chief Carriker is the head of the TVCC Police Department. Welcome to Valley News, Chief. We're very glad that you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's just start out with a little bit about your background. Can you tell us how long you've worked for TVCC and sort of where you're from?
Sure. I've worked for TVCC for just barely over a year. I started January 2012. Before that, I worked about 9 years for the University of Texas at Tyler. I was in their police department there. I started police work in 1993, so I've been doing it for a while. And other than a short break where I've worked for UT System Human Resources, I've stuck with it.
Well, sounds like you found your calling. I think what I'd like to talk about, it's the beginning of the semester, but I'd like to cover just some general things about campus security and student safety, possession safety, that sort of thing. Let's start out with campus security. Where's the campus security office located? How many people do you have on staff?
The campus police department is located in the Student Union building, first floor. I have 6 sworn officers on staff, myself, and I have an administrative person and then a student worker.
Is there someone on staff 24 hours a day? How does that work if you need assistance at night?
Absolutely. If you need assistance at night, there's always an officer here on the campus. To contact him or her would be 903-675-6235.
6235. Got it. So be sure to put that in your cell phones if you need assistance, and so that rings directly to the officer on duties.
That's correct. What it does is it goes to a phone system that we have that IT here put together for us. Miles Pennington helped us with it, and it's got, it tells you, it gives you directions on what to do. It'll say if it's an emergency, you can press a button, it'll go directly to the local 911 operator. If you just need assistance from campus police, maybe a door unlocked, car unlocked, then it'll ring directly to one of the officers.
You don't ever have to unlock car doors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do it in my spare time. It's fun.
I did that first semester of my freshman year. I have no room to talk. Now, because we cover the whole system, I know that it's a little different on the other 3 campuses. On those campuses, it's just best to call 911 because there's not a full-time force?
Yeah, absolutely. We're designed to be a district police department, and that's what we're working towards now with Dr. Kinzer's helping and spearheading that. But as of right now, we do not have TVCC police officers on those satellite campuses. But on the Terrell and on the Palestine campus, they will begin having contract police officers as early as probably the beginning of February.
That's great to know. I'm sure that's good
for
them as well. Yeah. Let's talk about just general possession safety, because we've got thousands of people here in the system. Obviously, there are probably things that disappear and reports that you guys have to file. Let's just talk about some of the good ways to not be too comfortable with your possessions. I think people sometimes forget that there's an iPad in their backpack, and that sort of thing probably happens.
Right, and out of sight, out of mind. So the best thing to do is always keep your possessions with you. If you have your backpack, you want to make sure your backpack stays with you. Say, for instance, if you go to the cafeteria, you don't want to set your backpack down against the wall, go and eat, visit with your friends, and then expect to go back to your backpack. It may or may not be there. The other thing that we see a lot of here on campus is the students don't lock their dorm rooms many times. So a visitor may come in, they may not be there, and they may pick up something. So it's important to keep your doors locked. Books are very expensive towards the end of the semester. They go missing. So we want to make sure we keep those things locked up. And then anything in your car, it needs to be in an area where it cannot be seen. So if you're in a pickup, you may have to place it behind the seat, under the seat. In a four-door sedan, the trunk's always good, the glove box. SUV, glove box, or if you have a tarp that goes over the back of your storage area back there, that's good.
That makes perfect sense. I'm sure that would really help people keep a hold of things.
And lock your car.
Yeah. But not your keys.
But not your keys in the car. That's correct.
All right, let's talk about personal safety. You know, the campuses are very well lit, but there's students at night, you know, that are kind of walking around. Let's talk about some things that people should remember on the personal safety front and just things that you should watch for if you're walking around campus and there may not be somebody else around at the time.
Well, you do, like you said, you want to stay in the lighted areas. You want to go the quickest route of travel, whatever it may be. You want to stay in areas that are paved because that's just for safety, keep from, you know, hurting a knee or falling and hurting your shin or twisting your ankle. But it's best to travel, if you can, in a group, especially if it's after dark and you can have a buddy that will go with you wherever you're going, return when you return, whether it's the library or to the convenience store or wherever you may go. The other thing is to have your cell phone with you and keep it ready. You should have our number programmed into it, and you should have 911 also programmed into it. When you're going to your car, you should not, if you have a remote, unlock your car from upstairs, make your way downstairs, and then get in the car. You should wait till you get to the car to unlock it. Then once you get in the car, you need to secure it right back and lock it. Another thing is, if you're in a dorm room, especially on the first floor, you want to make sure that you keep your blinds, drapes, whatever drawn. Keeps people from seeing what possessions you have. And then the other thing is, don't lend out things that you expect to get back. We have that issue a lot of times. Maybe computers, iPods, things of that nature. You are responsible for your own things, so you just want to be a good steward of them and make sure you know where they are and that you can place your hands on them when you need to.
A lot of common sense stuff, but stuff we sometimes forget. Tell me that campus security number again so we can put it in.
It's 903 675 6235.
Got it. That's perfect. The last thing I want to talk about is if there is a security issue here on campus, which praise God we haven't had, but if there is a security issue, we have the TVCC alert system where you can sign up for text messages and you can be notified. We talk about that a lot here on Valley News as it being for weather-related class cancellations, but it's also very important for campus security as well. Can you kind of tell us why it's important and how that would be used if there was ever an emergency here on campus?
Well, you're right. It's a good all hazards alert system, whether you were having a weather emergency or you're having law enforcement emergency or hazmat, hazardous materials type incident. The reason that it's so good is if you're in your car and we need to get the message out to you quickly, that is the quickest way that it can get to you. It may actually help you prepare either how you come to campus or tell you not to come to campus. So the expediency is the best part of it. And if you get the message, or when you get the message, if you're signed up, which everyone should be, make sure you spread the message. So if you have friends, start making contact with one another. A lot of times you'll read stats that say one person, once they receive the alert, if they'll tell 10 other people, you can quickly spread it. Maybe they've got the alert too, but maybe they don't.
That makes sense, and you could easily use the forward function on your cell phone for that.
Sure.
If you need to sign up for that, if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up for TVCC alerts on the main page of the web page. Click on the slide at the top that reads, "It's how you'll know." It'll take you to the sign up screen. Fill in all the information, and that will get you signed up. And remember, you can sign up more than one phone number. So if your spouse or your parent wants to stay involved with what's going on in case there's an emergency, you can enter their number as well. Is there any other topic that you can think of that you'd like to that you'd like to tell our students this morning?
Just if we can be of any service to you, whether it's the department or you need to speak to me personally, I enjoy visits from students and I get them quite a bit, so stop by. I'd be glad to sit down and visit with you.
Open door is always a good thing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us this morning, Chief. That's all for this week's edition of Valley News. For more on what's happening each week around the Valley, check out the news section at the bottom of our homepage. You can also check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Trinity Valley Community College or follow us on Twitter at TVCC News. Thank you for joining us for another week of Valley News. I'm Jennifer Hannigan.